Let's look at this example on measurements. Using pi, that's 22/7. The diagram shows a plot of land. You must calculate the area and the distance around it. So let's go. We have AE. From A to E is 50 meters. From B to C is 55 meters. C to E is 28 meters. And you have a semicircle at this end. You can see these two angles are 90 degrees. Now let us find the area of this plot of land. What you have here, A, let me mark it out, A to B to C, E, and back to A, is a trapezium, right? What you can do is either work with the trapezium, or you could have cut it into a rectangle and a triangle. Well, let's work with the trapezium first. When it comes to a trapezium, you do have a formula that you can use to calculate the area of a trapezium, right? But let's look at how you actually come up with that formula for the trapezium. Just in case you don't remember what it is, you could figure it back out. The area of a trapezium, let me just say area of trap, is it's like you had a rectangle. It is the height 28 times, you can't say 55 because up here is 50, and you can't say 28 by 50 because down here is 55. What you do is make a compromise between the two different lengths. So you have 50, 28 times 50 plus 55 divided by 2, right? And then what you're going to have is 28 times, what is 50 plus 55? 50 and 50 is 100, so plus 55 is 105 over 2. Well, this would be the same as 28 by 105 all over 2. 28 over 2 is 14, so it's 14 times 105. So 14 by 105, let's just quickly get a calculator here. 14 times 105 is equal to, and you get 1470. So this is 1470 meters squared, right? That's 1470 meters squared. Now, as for the semicircle, what you have, if you had a whole circle and from here to here is 28, halfway from the center up would be half of 28, which is 14, right? The area of the whole circle would be pi, which is 22/7, times r squared, 14 squared, which is 14 by 14. There is 1 7 in 7 and there are 2 7 in 14, so it's 22 by 2 by 14. 22 by 2 is 44. 44 by 14. You see that? Let's just deal with that part. 44 by 14. 44 by 14 is equal to, I recommend you do it by hand, but just to save time, 616. So the whole circle is 616 meters squared. So therefore the area of the semicircle is half of 616, which is what? 616 over 2, 22, 1, 26. There is 1 3 in 6. 2 into 1 you can't, 0. 16, 2 into 16, 8. So it's 308. So what we have is 1470 for this area. The trapezium is 1470, and then the semicircle, the area is 308. So 308. When you add them up, 8 plus 0 is 8, 7 and 0 7, 4 and 3 is 7, and 1. So it's 1778 meter squared for the whole area. Alright, so let's check again. The area of the trapezium, the height times the average of the two different lengths, 55 plus 50, 105, 28 by 105 over 2, same as 14 by 105, which is 1470. Then we calculate the entire circle. R is 14, so it's 22 over 7 by r squared, 14 by 14, 22 by 2. Alright, so you can check it through, make sure it is alright. But I'm seeing another thing here. Could we do it some other way? Let's make a little modification here. I don't want to erase the 1778 though. No, let the 1470 remain in place. Let me see something here. I'm talking about this area over here, the trapezium. Suppose instead of doing that, suppose we had cut the shape like this. Could we find the area just the same? What we would have is a rectangle. Draw it a little better. What we would have is a rectangle with 50 by 28. 50 by 28. So if we multiply 50 by 28, 50 by 28, we would get 1400. So the area of the rectangle would be 1400 meters square. 50 by 28, you see, 50 wide, 28 high. What about this now? What we would have over here is a triangle. If this is 55 and this up here is 50, the difference between 50 and 55 is 5. So right here would be 5. So we'd have 5 and the height would be 28. Why am I writing 50? It's 5 and this is 28. So the area of the triangle would be half times the base 5 times the height 28. Right? So if you do this by hand, half by 28, multiply this by this. Half by 28 is 14 by 5. So 14 by 5 would be what? 5 4 is 20. Bring down the 0, carry 2. 5 1 5 6 7. So the triangle would be 70. And then this 1400 plus the 70 would be 1470. Right. I was just checking something here. So what we did earlier was use the formula for the trapezium and found 1470. Then we divided the trapezium into a rectangle and a triangle. The rectangle was 1400 and the triangle we found to be 70. When we add them, we get back the same 1470. Alright? So you could do it any way you want. Now 1470 is the area. The area is 1470. We're not done yet though, you know. We have the distance around to find. Let's erase these and find the distance around it. Now let us deal with this distance, AE. AE is 50 plus, then we have BC. BC is 55 plus. We need this distance. We need that. How are we going to do that part now? Let's see what we're going to have to do. Let's draw this triangle. Now, we found earlier that this was 5 meters. Now you know the height is 28 meters. How are you going to get the slant part? Remember the angle here is 90. You apply Pythagoras theorem, where this is the hypotenuse. What Pythagoras theorem says is that the square on the hypotenuse is equal to the square on one of the shorter side plus the square on the other shorter side. I said shorter side because remember the hypotenuse is the longest, so each of the other two sides must be shorter. So what you have is 5 square 25 plus 28 square. 28 times 28 will give you 784. So we have 784. So 25 plus 784. 784 plus 25. 5 and 4 9. 8 and 2 10. Bring down the 0, carry 1 718. 809. So 8 squared is 809. So the hypotenuse, which would be AB, is equal to the square root of 809. Remember, the square root of 8 squared is just h. So h is the square root of 809. So we have square root of 809 let me clear the calculator. The square root of 809 is equal to 28.443, rounding off. So it's 28.443. That's this way, the AB. Remember, this is AE, this is BC, now this is AB, and AB is 28.449, running out of space there. After that, now what we need is the length of this part. We need that length. Now what are we going to do? If you have the whole circle, this arc would be part of the circumference. What would be the entire circumference of the circle? Circumference would be 2 times pi, alright, times 22/7 times r. The diameter is 28, so the radius was 14. Alright, that's the whole circle. Now the arc that we have is half of the circle, so it's half times these are getting in the way. Let me just erase this and continue. Half times 2 pi r, 2 by 22/7 times 14. So let's see, the arc CDE is half times 2, which is 1. This part comes to 1, so it's 22/7 by 14. 22 divided by 7 by 14. There's 1 7 in 7, and there are how many 7 in 14? 2. So it's 22 by 2. which gives you 44 meters. Alright, 44 meters. So in this case, the arc measures 44 meters. So when we're calculating the whole length of everything now, the distance, right? The distance is 50 plus 55 plus 28.449 plus 44. Alright, 50, 55, 28 and 44. So we have 50 plus 55, 50 plus 55 plus 28 plus 44 gives us 177. So it is 177 plus the 0.449 that we had left out. Alright, let's just round it off to one decimal place and call it. The distance is equal to 177.5 meters. So the area is 1470 meters squared, while the distance is 177.5 meters, the distance right around. Right? Okay, so that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.